This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
Well, Jim, the Summer Olympics are underway in Paris, and there's a lot of questions that go along with the Olympics. How much are they spending on these, when the cities bid for it, and how much it costs to build all those buildings that eventually get abandoned? You've seen some of those pictures, but here's one of the most Googled questions. Do American athletes have to pay taxes on the medals and cash awards that they win? And the answer was, congratulations, pay up. When you come home. The answer was yes, until a 2016 law changed that. But there is a catch. If the athlete's total yearly income exceeds $1 million, which is kind of easy to do with endorsements, then the money value of the medals and cash counts towards their tax bill. Which reminds me of that congratulations we get in retirement. Congratulations, you saved all this money, but it may not all be yours if it's in tax-deferred accounts. So what's all included in that, Jim? How do you come up with a workable plan for taxes in retirement?
Well, one of the things I think that really shocks people is this. Some people pay no taxes on their Social Security, and other people pay significant taxes on their Social Security. How does that make any sense? Because when FDR created Social Security, he said it will never be taxed. So what changed in the 80s that made Social Security taxable? And then what happened again in the 1990s to make it even more taxable? And without a doubt, I believe in the next decade, it'll be fully taxed for some people. It is a crazy world. It's called provisional income, guys. I'll just throw that answer at you right now so you don't have to try and make sense of it. But it's something that we talk about at every workshop. We talk about at every meeting. We talk about taxation. And it's these little hidden taxes that you need to understand. Think about this. We have a gentleman that is currently qualifying for the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. He's blown away that the interest that he's earning on his CDs and on his high yield savings accounts counted towards income. Although he made some good money, it also cost him almost $500 a month in subsidies. Jerry,
wow.
That's $6,000. And my point is not understanding how these tax rolls apply, and all avenues of retirement can really turn around and bite you in the butt. When you sell a stock or when you sell something, if it's short term, 365 days, long term, 366 days, those are taxed completely different. If you inherit money from somebody, it may have a step-up basis. Unless it's an annuity, you inherit it as ordinary income. These things go on and on. Dividends. You think about a dividend. Well, I only pay taxes on my dividends when I use it. No, even if you reinvest the money, it's still a taxable offense. And then not offense, but it's just a taxable movement. And then to add insult to injury, there's qualified dividends and there's ordinary dividends, which means some dividends are taxed at a lower rate while other dividends are taxed at a higher rate. So if you're sitting there right now going, what did he just say? What words was just coming out of his mouth? I get it. This is one of the biggest problems that retirees face. And in my personal opinion, one of the biggest faux pas that my industry does to the retirees that are out there is not understanding the importance of how you will pay taxes in retirement. Because just little adjustments can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of unnecessary taxes. Let me say that again. Little decisions on how you take the money can save you hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars. And in some cases, I've seen tens of thousands of dollars in tax savings, just understanding where to get the money from. So here's the question. Why is it, Jim, that when I go see my financial weenie, we're never talking about taxes, or if we do, we scratch the surface? Well, A, it's confusing. B, a lot of companies say, yeah, you can't really talk about that. Go see your tax person. But we know that when they say go see your tax person, and you go see your tax person, you ask them the investment question. You know what they say? Well, I can't answer that. Go see your investment guy. So it's this catch-22 that we're talking about. How can somebody like Jim Fox from Rockledge, Florida, okay, who left long enough to go in the Marine Corps to realize he wanted to be home again, right? One of those kind of stories. How can he take something as complex as the U.S. tax code and really simplify it in a way that you can understand? Now, you come in the first time, you won't understand it. By the second or third time, you're going to be there with me, okay? we invested in this software called tax mapping software. And what it does is it takes this complex tax code and it simplifies it. I like to call it Sesame Street economics, okay? There's colors, there's grays, there's reds, and there's greens. And what I love is that moment when I'm putting this information in and we're in real time doing it, the client goes, ooh, we're not going to do that. Look at all that red. Ooh, we're not doing that. Why? Because you're understanding how the impact of the decisions you make really impact your life because of taxation, right? That's what this is all about. And so for each and every person that's listening to me right now who's never been to my office, you're thinking, is it really that big of a deal? It's freaking awesome, Jerry. It is unbelievable. I mean, people love, for the people that have been to my office, they go, you know what? That was an easy thing to understand because you see the real life impact. How about this, Jerry? What happens if the Trump tax plan doesn't get renewed? What happens January 1st of 2026? Nobody's answering that question. I literally uncheck a box, and there's the answer to your question. These are the things that we want to do for people. We believe that if you're going to make a decision for you and your family, that decision are the things you're going to buy, the trips you're going to go on, how you're going to use your money. But equally as important, that decision is what type of financial advisor am I going to work with, right? What type of advisor? How about somebody that encompasses more than just stock jockey stuff, right? Something more than history lessons. How about somebody that's looking through the front windshield doing tax planning, helping you make decisions before you push the button and get the tax bill with it. That's what we do. And again, I am not the all-seeing, guru of life here when it comes to this. Is we sit together and we work through this process and we understand it. My job is not to tell you what to do with your money. My job is to work with you to get you to understand the repercussions of the decisions you make and are there better options for you. And that is just one example of the tax mapping software that we do that for people, is to make life that much easier. Listen, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you want to see what a tax map looks like, all you got to do is call my team. All you've got to do is come into this office and we're going to walk you through it. You're going to walk out having probably a better understanding of the taxation in retirement than you have ever had before. Why? Because it's simple and easy to understand. And you know what? It's something that if you never see me again, you can still use it in your retirement planning. But you know what? In a lot of cases, what people do is go, this is the holistic approach to retirement planning that I want. And Jerry, that's why I do it each and every day.
And if you want to have that conversation with Jim and his team, it's really easy to get in touch. You can click on the link in the show notes. It's right there at your convenience, or you can just go on over to the website, getfst.com. That's getfst.com to schedule that complimentary, no cost, no obligation appointment. Let's start building a plan that is customized for your unique needs and goals. Getfst.com. And you are listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox, talking a little bit about taxes in retirement, trying to keep more of that hard-earned savings in our pocket rather than overpaying Uncle Sam. Jim, people who have heard this show before have heard me say this a lot of times. It never loses the impact to me. Learned hand, a federal judge 100 years ago just about, said, in this country, there are two tax systems, one for the informed, one for the uninformed. Both are legal. So get informed, see what that looks like for you. Everyone's a little different. Getfst.com. Getfst.com. All right, Jim, I've been waiting to talk about this the whole show because you know what my favorite store in the world is, and that's Costco.
Oh, I had no idea. I didn't know you loved Costco.
Well, I love it. I'm just a recent member as of this year, and every time I cross that threshold, I feel like I'm walking into just bargains and things I don't need, but they're a lot of fun to look at, and I walk out of there with my wallet a little lighter, but it's always a good time. Well, they have, just like me, quite a loyal fan base. Everybody loves the $1.50 hot dog and soda. There's also the $4.99 rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
But they recently changed the packaging in an effort to cut down on plastics. And the result has left a lot of messes in people's back seats. Those bags are leaking. If you're getting the rotisserie chicken, you've been warned. Try to find a bag, maybe an extra box, set it aside, something like that. Maybe bring a bag with you. But Jim, when I think about leaky bags and everything and think about retirement planning, I think about what could be leaking out of our retirement accounts. There are a lot of things that could cause a big mess. What are a few?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the big one, fees, right? I mean, and do me a favor. If you think you can figure out the fees in your 401k, please call me because they are a nightmare to figure out. If you remember one time on air, we tried to do it and we had the instructions step by step. And it was, I mean, I honestly think that we could probably, hotwire the space shuttle faster than we could have done that, right? I mean, so I'm showing how old I am. The space shuttle hasn't went up in a long time.
There's an alarm that just went off on one of these bases nearby, and I just want to let you know we're not on the way. The
That's
FBI
it.
does not need. We just at ease.
It's just crazy, right? Like, I mean, it's so fees are difficult to figure out, but there's other things like there's turnover rates, right? There are turnover rates are how often they are selling stocks and holdings within a mutual fund, which impacts the rate of return because you had to pay taxes on it, right? I mean, it just kind of goes on and on. My whole point to this is that we all own, and I love the analogy, by the way, the greasy mess, right? Mm-hmm. We all own this basket or this bag of stuff. I almost said a bad word, right? It's stuff. And we really, and when I say we, I need to be crystal clear. We includes me in this story sometimes, right? Because I'll own some weird mutual funds that I don't really know that much about either, right? And we'll go or ETFs or just crypto or some strange stuff, right? We just kind of lose track of what it is we're doing. Like it doesn't really have a purpose. Oh, I want to make money. That is not a purpose, right? So what I always tell people is we've got to make sure as we're in retirement or nearing retirement or planning for retirement, we need to make sure that we know what all of our tools do and how to use them accurately and properly, right? Will a crescent wrench drive a nail into a 2x4? Yes, Jerry and I are rednecks. It will work, okay? But guess what? The hammer would be way more efficient, right? Can I take a plastic border and bang it into the ground with a carpentry hammer? I did it this weekend when I was working on some yard work stuff. Was it the right tool? Absolutely not. It was breaking the plastic. What should I be used? A rubber mallet, right? There's all these things. My point is that you guys, including me, including Jerry, we have all this stuff and we don't understand how they're going to work together. We don't know how it's going to generate income. We don't know what we're paying for. We don't understand the fees or any of the other nightmare that goes along with this. And we hope that when we get to retirement, or we hope when we start generating money, or we need the money, that it can generate the money we want. Here's the problem. Why are we hoping? Why are we praying? Why are we saying, no, what we need to do is have a game plan that understands this is the adjustments you need to make now if you want to do this in the future. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do your 401k. That's not what I'm saying. But there are some people that come through the door and I say, stop putting so much money into your 401k. It's a mute point when the money could be better used over here. Jerry, that's an important statement for people to hear. And the problem is most people go to investment brokers. They go to investment people, not people that are doing retirement planning. I can't stress that enough. What we do each and every week, Saturdays and Sundays here on the air, is we want you to start thinking about your retirement, not as an investment, but as a vehicle to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. And if you plan on going on a trip and you don't plan it at all, that's either going to be one of the greatest trips ever if you're lucky, or it's going to be a nightmare. We don't want retirement to be that nightmare. That's why we believe in planning. That's looking at the whole picture, not having some greasy stain on the back of your leather seat in the back seat because your rotisserie chicken spilled all over the place. Guys, if you don't want that greasy retirement stain in your back seat, if you don't want, I'm doing a Jerry Payne here. If you don't want to deal with not knowing, if you want to understand how retirement's going to work for you, it all starts with making a decision. We hope and we encourage you that first decision that you want to come into the office, tell them you don't want that Costco chicken in a bag anymore. You want it back in the plastic. We're going to sit down and work you through this. We're going to tell you what you can do. We're going to tell you what you can't do. And if things go well, the good Lord willing, we might find a way to work together to where we can help march towards retirement together. And even if that isn't the case, you're going to leave this office with a better understanding of your plan and what you're trying to accomplish. You have nothing to lose.
And if you want to have that conversation with Jim and his team, it's really easy to get in touch. You can click on the link in the show notes. It's right there at your convenience, or you can just go on over to the website, getfst.com. That's getfst.com to schedule that complimentary, no cost, no obligation appointment. Let's start building a plan that is customized for your unique needs and goals. Getfst.com. Well, we thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Hey, if you like what you heard, make sure you're subscribed, share it with a friend, leave us a review. Somebody else might need this information too. Hey, maybe they'll even like what we have to say here, Jim. But all that being said, we'll come back with another episode next week. For now, I'll let you have the last word.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Well, guys, every week, Jerry and I want to say thank you. We know that you have tons of options when it comes to getting financial information, and we're just honored to be one of those resources. So if there's anything we can do, like Jerry said, pick up the phone, give us a call, jump on our webpage, do whatever you got to do. We're here to answer those questions. But on behalf of myself and the rock doctor himself, Mr. Jerry Payne, I want to thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.